Stop. So now, explaining this act, it was actually that windmill, V3 were windmills, and these were the blades. Our hands were indicating the blades. Amina was the connector that was transferring the the motion from the windmill into the generator, and Devang was the generator, and from the Devang, Mohit was the connecting link that was passing the current which is produced in the generator to the bulb. This guy was filament, and the rest of two were the coating of the bulb. So actually, even as every other group, we came up with lots of ideas. Appliances like TVs, fan, bulb, a windmill, and then we finally decided to jumble it, and we linked those two ideas, I mean windmill and bulb, and developed this egg. Now the motto or the basic aim behind this was, it is unfortunate that still in the 21st century there are many villages in India that are not blessed with the electricity. It's a minimal thing because it has become kind of you can say we are obliged that we do not have any kind of scarcity. It's in our routine, but there are regions, there are cities, and there are villages that have they have never seen electricity. So to come up with those ideas, and we all know that electricity generation is it's kind of costly, but this thing using the wind energy and developing energy is somewhat noble. It's a noble way and cheaper way to produce electricity. Remote places wherein technology and transportation facilities are not available, we can develop such windmills and supply the electricity to the village and remote areas. So that was the main motto behind it. That's it.
Is there some possible way you can think of coming up with a better display of the filament?
Sir, actually, every person was occupied with the, because we wanted to show each and every component, every linkage. We even included wire and all. And as we were 9 of them, we have decided that he would, widen his arm so that it shows filament is light and all. But that was our aim, and the bulb was to to show that lights is on. So
because other teams, can you supply an idea to them?
Actually, you can have use a kind of tuning or to means when lights up, remove that from his and source some light.
Also, you can use gestures like this.
Yeah. But
we decided, but
This again, what we call as lateral thinking. Where the others have seen the display and the visual is something which is supplied, then the brain responds to saying that this can be done in a better manner. So it's a supply of the lateral information, which could possibly go into making of a better human machine. What we call as the first model is referred to, that it's called as the prototype. After the prototype is tested, you come up with the improvements over there. That's when you refine the entire thing. That's what happens. Because you will not be able to see the finished work yourself because you are all parts of the same. Only people from the outside. That is the power of the other teams. Remember, on the slide we said self, knowledge of the self, knowledge of the others. So the others will supply you with that knowledge to improve the self. So you are all one single team. So you won't be able to see. But what we have got is a captured video which you can definitely see later. We'll give you the clip so that you could see it and use it in your future this thing also. But check with your team if they could have done anything better. Can you check with your team? What is it that they feel they could have done better?
Sir, first we think about the flashlight, but we cannot execute it to flashlight.
And it will not indicate the filament.
If I can use a cell phone in my hand, so I can't properly execute as a filament.
It was in such that flashlight, once we have to start, before executing our plan, we need somebody to switch on or switch off. We were not having an extra person. So before starting the session, we discussed that how to get the flashlight on and off directly, but it was not possible.
Because it was him to switch on and off and also do the filament thing.
You can't see the cell phone.
Yes, it was there.
So this seems to be having one less.
But it was also not
Did you think of asking for collaboration from the other teams? Give us one person. So you were short of one person. So did we think of collaboration? When you say teamwork, and you're all concentrated on team A only, team B only, team C only.
So
Did
there
it cross your mind that we could have used collaboration?
when there are idle resources lying in our vicinity, we can always ask for that.
So that is possibly something that you could have. When you fall short, you can always come and ask the organizers. You could ask Rajesh, sir, can we use a borrowed member from the other team? So if you're falling short of that for your design, so that the design is much better, you could very well do that.
Sir, at starting we decided to keep the windmill of 2 people only. So we were having 1 person extra, but the coordination was not getting for the 3 ends from 2 persons. So we have included the 3rd person.
Now, what do you think? Does this process stimulate the thinking? Because you are kept short of time and you are forced to come up with something. Now, let me give you some inputs on the kind of learning that this. The kind of learning that you went through is called as the kinesthetic intelligence. Kinesthetic means body movement. Then you also went through the understanding of what each individual wants. So it is the self, intrapersonal skill. Okay? Kinesthetic skill, intrapersonal skill, and you are coordinating with the other members of the team. So that is the interpersonal skill. So involving interpersonal skill, intrapersonal skill, kinesthetic skill. And the way you design the various movements and all that is like you know where each part is and layout, etc. So that is called as pictorial intelligence. So these are the several intelligences that come into the picture. And in the teaching learning process, if you are aware, there are 9 different types of intelligences coming into the picture. The verbal part of it, the mathematical part of it, the self part of it, the other part of it, the nature part of it. So many different things come in, 9 totally. And all of us have 7 to some extent or the other, out of which engineering students have 4 which are predominant, which is your mathological skills and your verbal skill, intrapersonal skill, interpersonal skill. The kinesthetic is an additional. Normally, engineering students have that as an inbuilt mechanism. Role play, which is what you exactly did. Role play simulation. And it's also an art called show and tell. You show something and then tell a story about it. That's what each of you did. This is what we did. Lamborghini. Or we designed a helicopter. Or we designed a windmill. So show and tell, demonstration, role play, so many things combined, which is the power of this particular activity. So shall we appreciate what they do?